It's been a fucking year.
April 27th. A year already? Are you kidding me?
How the hell did that happen?
Hell no. Damn it, man. It hurts my soul.
Well, let's get into it.
I'm fucking lost. I've thrown away my
So back when this first started out, kind of really goes back to Nevil being in GBAD.
Story time, bitches. I just joined the band at 16 years old. Back in 2009. GBAD was a band that was kind of in the startup. Like, we started running like hell, playing as often as we could, wherever we could. But we ended up cutting 3 CDs with them. This band started as a 4-piece, has been as large as a 6-piece.
And ended up meeting, I'd met Nevil a couple times, but I ended up meeting GBAD's drummer, GBAD's drummer, Daniel. Got introduced by my coworker, and that's when they put out their Tempered Tides EP. I was hanging around with some people.
It was Mr. Dylan Earnhardt and I, who I met him through a mutual friend, and it just worked out beautifully that he was able to slide into the GBAD family, because he brought a totally different dynamic than what we had been working with prior. And very talented songwriter, and just overall guitarist, and just brought a sense of jackassery that was able to match within the family.
It was pretty carefree, just for the most part. You know, it had you know, there's the business into it, but it wasn't anything like what we're trying to do now. Here we go.
We ended up cutting 3 CDs with them, 3 EPs with them, and did a small tour.
We ended up booking a little 2-week tour with this band out of Nebraska called Lighthouses. Fucking love those dudes. That shit was fun, dude. I'd been tight with Nevil before, but that shit really like solidified it, kind of brought it all home. Me and him just vibing out to some fucking hillbilly shit, like listening to like Hank 3 in the middle of the Midwest at fucking 3 in the morning trying to get to the next gig. It was fucking incredible.
We had a lot of the other original members leave when we got back from tour.
You know, we were a 4-piece at the time, and the drummer and bass player, the founding members, bounced out. And Nevil and I like had a meeting that night, just figuring out what we wanted to do, and we determined, you know, we've been kicking around the idea of a second guitar player for a while. So enters fucking Corey.
We both had a long-standing friend, Mr. Corey O'Kelly.
I guess it kind of starts with me and Nevil. I think we've known each other the longest. We're probably around like 12, 13 years of being friends at this point. And we actually met at a church, the Irony, I suppose.
It was crazy, man. I had met him at one GBAD show. This was well before he was in the band, but he kind of started hanging around. And as it turns out, me and him had played soccer.
We grew up playing soccer at the same club.
Not on the same team, but at the same club.
Different team, same club. I remember seeing him, you know, pull up in like a 93 gray Camry, and he'd get out of his car with, you know, hair down to his ass.
I remember rolling up all through high school and seeing this little scene queen fucking weirdo, headband but not hair pulled back, like headband, fucking holding his bangs in place, and he had like highlights and shit in his hair.
He always struck me as the kind of dude, if he could come to training in like camo cargo shorts and a Slayer t-shirt, he would have.
I was like, man, I don't want to hang out with that guy. That guy looks like the worst person in the world. Well, fast forward, we're in a band. We've been roommates. It's my boy.
Mr. O'Kelly stepped in, which oddly enough, little throwback story, he actually almost auditioned to be the vocalist of GBAD, so he almost had my motherfucking job. And now, in true serendipity, he ended up joining up with us, and another great guitarist, and totally different guitarist from Dylan from Pappy. We had our boy Jalen, who also plays in another awesome band, No Ghost.
And then we pulled our buddy Jalen Sims in from a band called Heroic Bear. He was the guitar player there. He's the current guitar player in No Ghost. And had him play bass, and he had his... It was ridiculous, man. I think we were playing in drop C, and this dude's on a 6-string bass just fucking going for it, man.
It felt good, at least, amidst that kind of distress that came with the other originals having left. We're starting the work process of doing a debut album.
Played a couple shows, got an album done. Tensions were rising and rising. I'm not going to name any names on who was going on, but...
Then your boy went and fucked it all up, really.
We had a bad show, pretty much called it quits after that.
I left to go pursue a little more normalcy, you know.
Nevil went to go pursue normalcy and try and do his own thing out there, you know, living a normal life and everything. Nobody's really mad at him for that except for everybody.
See what if I enjoyed life better outside of the band aspect and all the mess. But I ended up getting married and went through a pretty rough divorce by and large, which, I mean, I don't think there's any easy divorce.
So, you know, Nevil went off and did his thing. Corey and I, at the time the band was together, or the time the band broke up, we weren't living together. We ended up moving in together maybe 6 months to a year later.
But Dylan and I continued writing. We were living together. It was super easy to just sit down and write with each other. Worked with a couple different drummers, tried to work with a couple different vocalists, but nothing really ever came to fruition from it.
You know, we started working on some way more technical, like way heavier stuff. We were trying some 7-string stuff, and it just wasn't really vibing. And fast forward a couple years, Nevil comes back around, and we start working on this new rendition of GBAD. And somewhere in the whole process, we got Brody in the mix to kind of help wrangle shit.
All right, so the first person that I met in GBAD was Dylan Earnhardt back in high school. We used to play in a band together called, we didn't have a name, but we just covered a bunch of Lady Gaga songs, and we ripped off riffs from a bunch of other bands. We had this overweight kid from the football team play drums for us. He did not know how to play drums, but he was our friend, and he was the only person around.
That dude, I've known that dude since middle school. We really started hanging out in high school. He was like my fucking best friend. And we had tried working on a couple bands together, trying to get some stuff going. And, you know, GBAD picked back up, and I really need to invest time in that. And I'm just sitting back, and I'm like, man, this dude has one of the best, like, entrepreneurial spirits I've ever fucking seen. So, like, let's get him to help out, man. I know he's going to fuck with what we do. He gets along with everyone in the band, so let's just rock it.
A few years later, I met Corey through Dylan. They were roommates, and they played in a band called Gourd by Deer together. They invited me to a show, and that was the very first time that I met Nevil. Coincidentally, that was the very last time Gourd by Deer played a show together.
Then your boy went and fucked it all up, really.
And I'm really sorry that I showed up and made everything worse for you guys. I've never seen Corey so mad. Corey threw water bottles. It was just a really bad time. But yeah, that was the death of Gourd by Deer, and I was there to witness that. While Gourd by Deer went on hiatus, Dylan and I started a band called Safe Now, and indirectly, that's how I first interacted with Lewis, through email, when Dylan would go and record with Lewis at his studio. I guess maybe 3 years after Gourd by Deer broke up, Dylan and Corey reintroduced themselves to writing new material for Gourd by Deer. And they got Nevil back in the mix, and they all three got on one knee and proposed to me at emo night at the Masquerade and asked me to manage them. I said I do, and that is why I am here now doing this 1-year anniversary video.
Really, that's when all this kind of started taking off again. We wrote a cover, hammered out a couple of originals, and then I believe it was Dylan suggested, hey, you know, let's go hit up Lewis, let's record at his studio Arcology.
Fuck GBAD.
My boy Dylan, he had gone to the Atlanta Institute of Music and knew a cat there named Louis Texidor.
Fuck GBAD.
Old Motley Lou. And that's how he enters into this story. And probably one of the most versatile, musically talented people I've met. And definitely a hard-ass worker in everything he does. And, so we got in and we started tracking with him. And it was a cool dynamic because it was weird. It's like I've worked with other producers and everything like that before, but It was weird, man. It was just such an easy, clicking, chill vibe the entire time. We were all just able to get work done, but still goof off and act like asses, and he was like right there with it.
Lewis was producing everything because I had worked with him on a couple tracks in the past because we went to Atlanta Institute of Music together. Always vibed with him, super chill dude, great producer, like, fuck yeah, let's get into it.
And we went up there, and just the vibe was so much better than any environment that we had ever worked in before. You know, we could go, we could get what we needed done, but also we could go, drink, have lunch, act like jackasses, and, you know, still get what we needed to do. But Lewis was willing to, you know, he just hopped right in on all of that.
I was told that during the writing process and recording process at our college's studios with Lewis, Dylan, Corey, and Nevil got Lewis incredibly drunk.
We drank.
Eventually, we got to the point where we're like, yo, we gotta recruit this cat. We gotta get this guy a part of the family now. We gotta get him in this band. So we may have gotten him liquored up.
Nevil, Lewis, and I went out one night after tracking and got hammered.
So I actually wasn't there the night that it happened, but it seemed like Nevil and Dylan got Lewis, got him pretty drunk.
Oh my God, we got hammered.
And asked him to play bass. Unknowingly and being drunk, Lewis agreed.
We're at this bar, not too far from the studio, and I'm just like, Lewis, you should play bass for us. You should play bass for us. I'm gonna make you the next Nolly. You should play bass for us. And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, yeah.
Lo and behold, he wanted to be a part of it.
And we have a bass player.
So I texted him 2 days later, and I was like, dude, we were hammered. You don't actually have to play bass for us. And he hits me back immediately, and he's like, no, I meant it. I want to do it. And you're like, fuck yeah.
And it's been awesome, you know, to have his input on everything and his production, his ability in that.
I just joined the band. I'm just playing bass. Nobody cares about a bass player. And then I'm having here to put all this work to make all these people sound good, and the bass player.
So we started working on that, getting closer to the album, booked our first show. That brings us up to April 27th.
April 27th.
Of 2019. We booked a show at the Masquerade with some super dope bands, all local, but it was a fucking banger. It was a fun ass show. And we go in, and wasn't ideal, you could say. There were some, we'll just say there were some technical issues, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not trying to throw no one under the bus, but you can probably put the clues together, because the next step, within a week, we had gotten Eric.
Some things just didn't quite work out, and so we were in the market again. Both Dylan and Lewis, both having gone to AIM, knew old E-Dog, Eric Dansie.
Tossed around the idea with Lewis. I'm like, hey, do you want to talk to Eric? So he talked to him. Eric was in. And that's kind of how we got the lineup we have now. And
I also went to AIM with Eric. Him and Lewis had played in a bunch of bands together. Eric, I went all the way through AIM with Eric, like the same levels. So we had played together in the realm of going to school. And the dude's just incredible.
And Eric and I have gotten along really well because we were both from the same part of the country. Everything else about Eric, I'm not entirely sure, but he's a really good drummer.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Eric. I actually joined the band about a year ago. I've played in bands with bass player Lewis.
So the first show that we had with Eric and Lewis together as a rhythm section was opening for Cane Hill at the Masquerade. And it was the first show I have ever played in any band and anything where I didn't fucking have to worry about anybody being on their shit. Like, I knew the set was gonna pop off. As long as our fucking clicks worked, I knew we were gonna be good. And honestly, even if those had fucked up, I knew we'd be fine. We actually did have the click go out on our last song. Actually, I miscued the click. But Eric and I just locked in, and we fucking rocked the shit, man. It was incredible. And like, that show, it wasn't a huge show. It was like a Wednesday night in Hell at the Masquerade, but damn, dude, like, it popped off.
Eric Dansie, our current drummer, and he was interested in coming on board and working with us and joining up with the family and being the final piece of the puzzle. And yet again, just Jesus, man. It's hands down one of the most talented drummers I've ever worked with, without question. yeah, it's so nice as a front man, and if anybody's ever sang for a band or anything like that, they know that it's so nice to be able to know if something's starting to get squirrely, and rhythms are getting off or anything like that whatsoever. Or if you're running click,
I miscued the clicks.
anything's jumps, skips, hops, whatever. The man's a fucking robot.
They had actually finished tracking their whole record and just weren't really happy with how the drums turned out.
Had Eric go in and retrack all the drum parts for the album. Everything got so much tighter.
I think we're all super happy with it. We all have a very, very different style of play, a very different approach to how we write songs, especially, Dylan and myself as the two guitar players. We approach everything so differently, and it gives we think it gives us a really cool contrast to everything that we do.
Anyways, all jokes aside and stuff, it's been an awesome year of hanging out with the dudes. We've played a couple other shows other than that comeback one, and it's been really, really awesome. And overall, we've just shared so many good memories over this last year. And, we wanted to share that with you guys, the people that listen to our stupidity, the people that watch our stupidity, and the people that just deal with us and somehow still support us. But on that note, we are super excited to let you all know that hopefully by the time you're watching this video, our previously released song, Don't Know Why, is back on streaming platforms and all that stuff. We've been going through some legal stuff. But other than that, next Saturday, May 2nd, we'll be dropping a new song. It's a cover, that's all I'm gonna say. There's some hints that are gonna be spread out through our social media accounts, and see if you can figure out with those hints what we're covering. This was fun to do because we all had to do it in isolation and separately, and it was kind of a challenge to put everything together. But that being said, I think it's one of the best metal in that genre products I've ever mixed, and I'm super stoked to hear what you guys think about it. And given the circumstances of how we had to do it, I think it's really, really, really awesome how it came out. And then also on that day we'll be debuting. I can't speak good because I'm foreign. That was stupid. But yeah, we'll have a new website too, and I'm looking forward to that too. We'll have, all our content, everything really, really, really easily accessible from there. So you have no excuse to not check out our stuff. I'm looking at you right there, the one that already skipped through 2 minutes of this video and didn't hit that asshole. But anyways, yeah, and we'll be releasing 2 pieces of merch as well. So be on the lookout for that. That was stupid. Anyways, as a recap, May 2nd, yeah, we're coming in hot, we're coming in fast. May 2nd, new website, new merch, new song, /single, /cover, /whatever you want to call it. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for liking GBAD and all that fun stuff. I'm looking forward to another amazing year with the boys.
Hopefully you guys dig it. Y'all stay safe, stay inside, and y'all take care.
I'm really excited about the material. I can't wait for an opportunity to be able to release this album properly so you guys can all hear it. And to everyone that's been listening to us since the Gourd by Deer days, since April 27th of 2019, or just in the past couple weeks because you found us on YouTube while you were bored in quarantine, thank you. Love you fuckers. Couldn't do it without you. It's just fun. It's a lot of fucking work, man. We're really trying to grind for you guys, but whenever we get to come out and interact with y'all and play some shows and just fuck shit up, it makes everything super dope.
I think we'd all like to thank everybody that came to that show or came to any of our shows and has supported us over the past year.
This has been, I've been wearing this acronym on my back since I was 16. And there's a lot of y'all who have supported and stood by and, really been the driving force to keep going at a lot of this, over the years. And, thanks to everybody that shows us love and support. But I gotta give a little shout out to it's y'all that I know have been fucking with us since 2009. Just really from the deepest part of my heart, I can't thank y'all enough, and I cannot wait to show y'all what we got going on, because I would never been more stoked to get send out a product and get this out there to y'all. So just keep your eyes peeled, and much love, all that shit. But yeah.
Who here's been doing shitty fucking breakup?